in that main event, my man Hangman, wouldn't be surprised if old Hangman figured a way out. That's going to be. How do I say this? That is 4 clashes of 4 unique styles. Because when you look at all 4 of them, you don't really say, okay, they're similar. They all really do have a different style. I've got my eye on that. And in maybe a unique kind of way, I'm pulling for Hangman.
Hangman's sort of become one of your favorite opponents. I mean, that's quietly been something that I have sort of observed. You really enjoy mixing it up with him in the ring, don't you?
He's aggressive. Yeah, he brings it, and I respect that. When a guy, he's super athletic. He had that trilogy of matches against Swerve. Kind of in that, we'll call it feud. I went and did quite a bit of research on his matches and his body of work, not just AEW, going all the, Japan, Ring of Honor, and just kind of knowing the story. And so I've got a lot of respect for the guy. So, man, we'll see what happens, but Orlando is shaping up. The Hobbs match was announced. You covered that, obviously Continental Classic. And then everybody's favorite Punk, MJF. What a little shithead, right?
Everybody hates MJF. We're going to talk about that nothing happening son of a bitch in just a minute. But I wanted to ask you first, about a week ago now, as we're talking, Dave Meltzer had a discourse. And I'm going to bring this up to you because you mentioned that you're kind of pulling for Hangman. And I'm sure that strikes a lot of people by surprise. But a fellow named Bruno on Twitter said AEW could take a page out of the WWE marketing book to understand how to promote a brand. Though AEW has stars, they lack a true superstar to garner attention. The WWE brand is now bigger than any one star, but they did need superstars to build the brand. AEW lacks superstars. And Dave Meltzer quote tweeted that and said, they lack the superstar babyface who almost never loses in the headline position. It's what you need badly in a promotion with so many heel beatdown angles. And a lot of the comments just went bananas saying, hey, that's Hangman Adam Page. Fans are cheering for him even when he's a heel. And I think a lot of the AEW faithful believe that Hangman Adam Page could be that superstar babyface to build around. And I don't know that I would have always seen that or thought that, but hearing how fond you were of his work, once you actually got in there and got to work with him, it made me say to myself, have I missed this? Has this been in front of me the whole time? What do you think about perhaps Hangman Adam Page being that guy?
I'm going to steal your line, Conrad. We dove in. We were talking classic and football, and you just, we're jumping off here. A lot to unpack there on what you just said, because you started with Meltzer saying they lack we'll call it, paraphrasing, the unbeatable babyface. But in the comments, is that what I'm hearing, that the people kind of responded with,
hey, the guy that AEW's been looking for all along, that even when he's a heel, fans don't want to boo him. Even when he's a heel, fans want to cheer him. He gets cheered whether he's on TV every week or he misses a few weeks or a few months, but he has good matches and the fans seem to be with him. I think a lot of AEW diehards feel like Hangman Adam Page could be their guy.
Well, and so that's what I think is, I'm processing it real time, Conrad. I know, we'll call it an Arthur Ashe in the lumberjack strap match. I don't think many people cheered Hangman. The old Last Outlaw was a fan favorite that night. That's why I think, going back to, my set point is Hangman knows how to evoke emotion. And we've said it many, many times here on the show, creative subjective. And so it depends on what lane the talent's going to pick, or the process is going to be, or how the promotion's going to roll it out. Do I think Hangman could be that guy? Yeah, but it's staying the course. And you know, either you said it or however said that the WWE brand or the brand is bigger, and I always say yes and no to that. You kind of look at Cody. He just kind of his trajectory. He's making, I can't say the meteoric rise, because when he stepped back over there a couple of WrestleManias ago, he was already at a level and it kept going. But with that being said, how long had Roman been the unbeatable, immovable object? Even before Cody got there, and then it was a full 2 years. So it's just that long term, and I don't want to say storytelling because that puts us in a box, but the process of developing talent from entry level all the way to beyond superstar talent. The Mole Man and other promoters would call them, well, he's a box office attraction, means he'll create revenue. There's such a huge difference. So Conrad, I went way off track there, but anyhow, yeah.
Dave Walker had another thing on Twitter I want to ask you about, because you mentioned Cody. Jack of Spades, in the middle of this conversation on Twitter, says they need someone like that, but on the other end, it's not the 90s anymore, and it's pretty impossible to make another babyface to that level without people turning on them or comparing them negatively. But they do need to reach more audiences. And Dave quote tweeted that and said, if people getting behind a babyface as the top guy won't work, then they're doomed to decline. But WWE turned it around with Cody, a babyface who they protected, and he's had 2 great years. To your point, that's what they did with Roman Reigns too. They protected him. He didn't lose very often. He was used consistently. That's probably the right word that you used there. Do you think that the way that the WWE has built Cody with quote unquote protecting him, and built Roman with quote unquote protecting him, is that what the AEW audience wants? Or do you think they really enjoy the matches and the physicality, and, protecting guys, wins and losses just aren't as important? Or are they still important? And we've learned that from Roman and Cody.
That's getting right into the fundamentals. I don't think the construction of a talent, construction of a match, construction of a promotion, you can have different variations and all that, but I just think that's why they're called the basics. And time takes time. But we'll call it the online, what's the word? Discourse and the tribalism that you've taught me about, Conrad, and all that. That is a barometer. It's not the barometer. And that's where, when you kind of dive into just what's public with Cody or Roman, and, the stats that Roman built up, all the main events in WrestleMania, but, being there for those, however many years that was, 3 or 4 or 5 years, and looking at the hard data, when you kind of peel back and really take a hard look at not just quarter hour ratings, but minute by minute ratings, and social media engagement, and merchandise sales, and live event sales. You just kind of take in everything. And then I also think that it is much like the subjectivity of the music business. But if you've been around long enough and stay in the game and really understand it, Conrad, the almighty ear, just listening to the people. And I'm not talking about yays and boos. I mean, you can really tell when a guy's music hits, or the feeling that after the 1, 2, 3, and you when you see the people still on their feet and cheering, and just all the residual stuff that comes out of it. I think it's all a lot of metrics and feelings and all that at times, I just think so many times in the wrestling industry, we just kind of forget the mere basics of it.